Good morning, Bix Weir, road2road.com with your morning Horn of Zeese, your sip of coffee. Lots to talk about today. The NFL strike against the national anthem has blown up in the NFL's face. There's a lot of social engineering going on right now. If these guys who are kneeling, you can might as well just kneel to George Soros, if you ask me. It's all social engineering. Go back to the beginnings of that kneeling thing with Kaepernick in San Francisco. That wasn't because Kaepernick was a social justice warrior. It's because his girlfriend was. His girlfriend was big Antifa social justice warrior. In order to get in his pants, he decided to kneel to prove he had some balls. And then they don't even know what they're protesting anymore. These rich athletes protesting the oppression of their kind. It's insane, but it has backfired, of course, as it should. My favorite is this NFL hashtag NFL burn notice with all these people burning their, how people used to burn the flags to protest the war? Well, they're burning jerseys to protest the protest. And if you saw Monday Night Football, they did a kneel before the anthem. The NFL is in trouble. This is a huge problem, and they don't know what to do about it because they have all kinds of rules of what NFL players cannot do. They can't even, there was a list of 9 things that came out yesterday, rules the NFL has instituted that individual players, they can't support breast cancer awareness unless the whole team does it. So they can't do individual, like put a headband on that says, a pink headband type of thing, unless the whole team does it and it's part of the team. So individuals protesting, no, it's not allowed in their contracts as far as freedom of speech. And it's real interesting. My take is I don't care. I don't really care what they do. They can salute the flag or not salute the flag. I think if I feel bad or feel like they shouldn't be doing that, I just stop watching football and stop supporting. A lot of people are writing to these corporations that give these players billions of dollars to support their products and say, hey, I'm going to run a campaign against your company because your spokesmodel out there playing football is desecrating our flag and not respecting that which got them rich in the first place, our freedoms and our ability, so that you can play a game and get paid millions of dollars for it. So, yeah, but I mean, everybody has the right to do whatever they want. If I was the owner, I have the right to fire anybody who took a knee. That's the way it is. And if it starts a social justice war, I think we're headed for one anyway. And that's what the bad guys want. George Soros and friends are trying to start this. They're loving that take a knee thing. They're loving that it's spreading. It might have died last night when people started burning jerseys. I'll just give you here's one right here.
Hi, I'm Jim Heaney. I'm a veteran United States Marine Corps, 83-84, served in Beirut. My wife, Marine Corps veteran, 1988-1992. Served in Desert Storm.
This is going on all over the country right now.
Lifelong Steelers fan. Not anymore. Villanueva, I love you, brother. God bless you and thank you for standing. As far as the Steelers go, no more. Not a fan of you, the NFL, any of it. Not standing for a flag, the fight that stands for the freedoms that we have. I'm going to burn everything I have. Never watch you again. No longer a fan. We'll start out with a couple small things here. Some of these things my children gave me as birthday presents and Christmas gifts, and that really hurts. But I'm not watching you anymore, and I'm not paying your way. Ignorance ain't bliss.
So these these videos are going on all over the place, and just hit hashtag NFL burn notice. You'll find all kinds of videos of people burning their football memorabilia for those who took a knee. And NFL in general was already hurting a lot, but for many reasons. The whole concussion thing is brought the kids can't even tackle pretty much anymore. And should it be fixed? I don't know. I'm a football fan, but truthfully, it wouldn't kill me not to support them anymore if they're not going to support our country, and that's my choice. And everybody makes their own choice. I would like to see these guys get a job somewhere else if they get kicked off out of football. What could they be, a coach maybe? I don't know. I mean, that's a broad generalization, obviously, but they shouldn't be paid. This is the sport. The only way they can be paid these millions of dollars, most likely, and if they want to mess with their careers and their livelihood and their children's livelihood and the livelihood of their posses, go for it. But I got a bad taste in my mouth about it. So yeah, I'm not going to run out and buy a Raider jersey. I'm not going to support the team financially. I might watch the games every once in a while, which does support it financially, but it leaves a sour taste in your mouth when these people inject the kind of engineered social justice that is being portrayed, and it's so obvious. I mean, just go back to Kaepernick and his girlfriend. That's where it all started. And these guys are taking a knee during the national anthem. Meanwhile, they're being protected on all sides by the police officers that are there to protect them during the game. It's just hypocritical, and I don't think they even know what they're protesting anymore. They just, the anti-Trump stance. I think Trump stirred the pot. Absolutely, he did. But it brought it to a head very quickly. Because after Sunday, you get to Monday Night Football, and no way was anybody going to take a knee. They took a knee before the national anthem, and then they roll out this big flag the size of the field, and everybody is locked in arm but standing for the national anthem. So if anybody takes a knee after today in these coming games next week, I would be surprised. And I would imagine the whole stands would boo them. They'll probably take a knee before and take a knee after. And then who cares? Yeah, I think it'll be over quickly because the NFL will see just how costly it will be to them and their revenues. Their revenues are already down 10%, I heard. So yeah, will they start firing people? Probably not because of the backlash. They'll probably say do what you want to do, but the boos won't stop when people take a knee during the national anthem. Anyway, just wanted to show that, and let's run down some zero heads real quick. Right at the top. FBI arrests several NCAA coaches amid broad crackdown on college basketball corruption. Again, sports and money and entitlement of these athletes who think they deserve millions of dollars, and then the coaches who basically sell off kids. It's just insane what goes on, and it's just wrong. But that's the world we live in. It's about idolizing your sports hero, your reality show hero, and paying them millions of dollars for whatever it is they do. And I'm glad there's some crackdowns, but there needs to be a lot more. Puerto Rico is absolutely destroyed. And a friend of mine sent me some pictures of a road near his house. He's not there right now. He's in Florida. He went through the Florida hurricane. But they have a house in Puerto Rico, and his parents grew up there. And he said it'll be months before he gets home because, all the power's out practically. Hurricane Maria, basically, it hit landfall full force, and bang, your power's out. Everything's underwater. Everything's destroyed. And this is a country that was already, I think it was $140 billion short from paying the banksters their tithing. From paying off their bonds. It'll be interesting to see what Trump does. He's going to Puerto Rico, I think, this week. It'll be interesting to see what he does with the bailout money that Puerto Rico is going to get. Not bailout money, but the hurricane relief money. It'll be in the billions, many billions. They're going to need hundreds of billions. But it'll be interesting to see if the banksters are paid off, if they give money to Puerto Rico to pay some of their debt to keep the banksters off them. I think the banksters should be shut out right now and never, ever go back to Puerto Rico. But we'll see what happens. So we'll see what Trump does. If he opens up the spigots and says, oh, here's $100 billion to rebuild Puerto Rico, and then sneaks another 100 billion over here to the banksters to cover their issues with Puerto Rico, that would be a problem on the battle between the good guys and the bad guys. But Puerto Rico is going to need, I mean, is it possible to rebuild Puerto Rico? I don't even know. I don't think there's enough money. The United States, yes, it's a part of the United States. It's not a state, but it's the next best thing, and they are going to rely. They aren't allowed to print their own money, so it'll have to be the federal government, which is the only entity within the United States and its territories that can print money. So yes, the U.S. government will bail them out because they can print money out of thin air, and that goes for Texas, and that goes for Florida, and that goes for anything else that happens. It's going to be money printing and money printing and more money printing and more money printing. And I talked about that in the Cliff High interview, the Three Amigos interview. It's going to be extremely beneficial to the cryptos because the destruction of unbound fiat money is part of the reason the cryptos are building right now. It'll be bigger reason and bigger reason. The more people see the destruction of the old system and look for something new, in the cryptocurrencies, the crypto tokens, and the companies being built around the blockchain platform. That's how it's happening. Hopefully you can see it by now. I've been jumping up and down screaming to everybody to get into the cryptos. Go to Coinbase and start yourself an account. I know they're tough to deal with, but that's a way to start. It's an easy way to start. Or go to Gemini.com and buy some Bitcoin and Ethereum. But if you're not in this game, if you're not in the cryptos right now, and you've been listening to my videos, don't say I didn't tell you so, because I've been screaming this for 2 years now, that is the plan. The plan is not to destroy the US dollar and go back to a gold standard as it was before. That's what the Fed said. Now the Fed boss is saying we're going to build a crypto blockchain type economy right next to our current economy. As the old economy dies, everything's going to shift over to this new economy. And we're seeing exactly that happen right now. So I would say that's a Bix Weir hit, a Road to Ruta hit, because it is happening. You can't deny that it's not happening. And those who are telling you to stay away from the cryptos, like Jim Rickards and Jamie Dimon and Chris Dwayne and Hugo Salinas Price and Bill Holter, they got it wrong. They got it absolutely wrong. Some of them know, Jamie Dimon knows what's really going on. He's spending billions of dollars at his blockchain infrastructure parts of his business. But, I mean, after a while, you have to look at yourself in the eye and say, yeah, I missed the boat originally, but I kind of get it now. I kind of understand what is trying to be orchestrated. And Bitcoin and the cryptos will just keep going and going and going as more and more people get involved. And literally, millions are getting involved every day around the world, in China especially. And yes, they slowed it down a little bit, but not much. After the end of the election, at the end of October, you're going to see China embrace the cryptos once again. So there's no reason to stay out. You will get in. You're just not in now. You will be in by, within 2 years. You're going to be in probably 90% of your entire portfolio will be in crypto assets. You cannot believe me if you want, but it's either that or have the old system decay and implode right next to you. And remember, all these costs of hurricanes and disasters, all of that gets piled up and piled up and piled up on the debt. And if you look at the pension funds that hold most of the mortgage-backed securities, good night. This is a perfect storm for the pension funds. And when those go down, then everything goes down, because there's the derivatives on the pension funds. There's the social and economic consequences of people's retirements getting destroyed. And you have the chance right now to move out of that system into something new. I suggest you do it right away. Silver also. I mean, silver is being slammed and slammed and slammed. It might not be that the silver price goes up ever on the COMEX or the LBMA, but as soon as a new system is implemented, which I heard a lot are in the works right now on the crypto basis, silver tokens will be issued, and mining companies will immediately move away from the criminal COMEX and not give them silver, not give the LBMA their silver to sell. So the prices still may be rigged on those exchanges, but they won't have any silver delivery available. So they're going to have to go to the tokens, and the tokens are going to go up in price. Cliff talked about this in the Three Amigos interview. Gold drops and U.S. pops as Yellen warns Fed should be wary of moving too gradually. Just ridiculous. I mean, the whole concept of the Fed saying something and then Steve Mnuchin in the basement clicking his computer program to drive the price of gold down and drive the U.S. dollar up is so easy. It's a click. It's a click of a mouse. Click, done. That's how hard it is. So it's got nothing to do with Janet Yellen at all. At all. And doesn't, what's his face? Stanley Fischer, the number 2 man, the head of the Israeli Central Bank, who's now he was the head of the Israeli Central Bank, and now he's number 2 guy at the Fed, has been shown the door. I think his last day is the end of the month. But he can't get out too soon for my liking. As far as the war with North Korea, I don't think any nukes are going to fly, but we'll see. Nothing you can do about it, right? What do? You can't sit and worry about this stuff because if it happens, you're done anyway. Uber to cease operations in Quebec. Interesting. Just days after Uber lost its license to operate in London, the online ride-hailing service has been at the center of various controversies and scandals for the past year. Announced it would cease operations in Quebec. Interesting. Trump will visit Puerto Rico to survey damage as locals plead for aid. We are Americans too. President Trump announced on Tuesday morning that he will travel to Puerto Rico next week to survey the damage. There's not much to see. From the pictures I've seen, everything is gone. Everything is destroyed and damaged one way or another. Nothing was undamaged. So it's pretty much, Trump said the island is literally destroyed, but expressed confidence they'll be back. Well, I hope he opens up his wallet big time because it's going to take hundreds of billions to rebuild an entire island with the population of Puerto Rico and all the retirement and vacation homes that people owned. Crazy stuff is going on these days. Everything else is the same old, same old. This is Bix Weir, knee deep in the. I think I said this morning that I was having a Hump Day interview today. Nope, the Hump Day interview is on Wednesday with the Guerrilla Economist, and we will be talking about the gold in the Grand Canyon, the plane crash that happened in the Grand Canyon in 1956. I've been digging into that all morning. Really interesting stuff. A lot of redacted information. You know when there's redacted information about the Grand Canyon that they're hiding something, and that's been obvious for a long time though. Anyway, this is Bix Weir. You guys take care. Have a good day. I'll talk to you later.